Hey Charles, sorry for that interruption there. So
Oh, no problem.
we were just talking about sort of that nervous pit in your stomach. So really just talking about like the emotional state. So again, like emotionally how you were feeling, and also physically how you were feeling. And what you said was that it really impacted your performance. So that's what I'm here for, right? So one of the things is I just want to do a little bit of education around anxiety, which I always like to do. And I am a clinical psychologist, but also, again, a consultant in sports psychology. And one of the things we want to think about is that there are two types really of anxiety, right? There's anxiety that may be short term, and it's kind of secondary to the environment that you're in, right? Again, you might be sort of on that tee and kind of your arch rival comes up to the same hole, and you start getting anxious and things like that. But at times anxiety could be longer lasting, and sort of no matter how hard you try, or it's not situation, it's sort of throughout the day, it's every day or almost every day. That's a little bit different. So if you feel at any point that the anxiety doesn't really go away, that it's not like it's more throughout it's more like throughout all situations, then we need to kind of make a little shift, because that's a little bit different than just some anxiety around sports and situations that come up in sports. Any questions about that?
No, that makes sense to me.
Okay. All right. So moving on, one of the things then I wanted to touch base on today is maybe some strategies to, help you reach that, that top of the bell curve, where you're really feeling, again, excited. You're feeling like a heightened excited state, but not too much energy, not this nervous pit in your stomach. So one of the things is noticing when that shift happens, right? Again, there are times when we may, all of a sudden be like, oh my gosh, for the last hour I was completely erratic. But we don't really realize, how we're feeling until it's almost too late. And so one of the things is just, being aware, just sort of noticing the thoughts and feelings as they come up, really noticing your body as they come up. Noticing the sensations in your body when they come up. So I was wondering, Charles, if we could just do a couple of mindfulness exercises together.
Okay.
Okay, so the first mindfulness exercise I'm going to do, and then at the end of the session, I'm going to recommend an app that you put on your phone for practice. It's called Stop Rethink, so this can reinforce it.
Okay.
And again, what I like to do is sort of utilize mindfulness as the first step with interventions, okay? Because again, how do I know what I need if I'm not aware of what's going on inside me? So I'd like to just take, we're going to just take a minute, and if you can get into a comfortable position, and we're going to close our eyes, and I'm going to just do a little bit of a script here, Charles, and just to give you some guidelines for this activity, okay? So we're going to gently close our eyes, and we're going to take a moment and just focus on our breath. Really noticing the in-breath and the out-breath. Really bringing our attention to our breath. Sort of thinking of the mind as a spotlight, and that spotlight is going to be on our breathing. Sort of riding the wave of your breath in and out. And now we're going to make a shift, and we're going to notice any thoughts that come through the gate of your mind. Think of a thought like clouds passing in the sky. We're just noticing the thoughts. We're not reacting to the thoughts. We're not judging. We're just noticing them. Really giving them attention, giving them voice. Not trying to push them away. And if you find yourself judging those thoughts or wanting to turn towards them. Turn away from them. Just notice that. Notice how thoughts are not permanent. They come and go. And now we're going to notice, again, make a shift again, and notice any feelings or emotions. You may notice exhaustion. You may notice a feeling of a sense of calm. You may notice a little worry. And look to give a name to that emotion. I am feeling blank. We're not looking to move away from that feeling. We're not looking to avoid it. We're just noticing. You may notice more than one emotion. You also may notice that the emotion or emotions come and go like waves in the ocean. And finally, let's bring our attention back to our breath. You may notice a difference in your breathing. Really noticing the in-breath and the out-breath. And when you feel ready, slowly open your eyes and look around the room. Just to sort of shift from that internal to external experience. Do you mind, if it's okay, Charles, sharing the emotion you felt with me, if any, during that exercise?
At first I was feeling internally frenetic,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got hungry,
Okay.
and then
Yep.
I kind of calmed down.
Okay. Now, the activity or the exercise was not to be calm, but you sort of got to that space.
Yeah, I mean, I felt very just kind of like grounded. I see, but I still felt them. And then the more I breathed, like kind of the thoughts just kind of started moving.
Okay. Okay. So, Charles, this is sort of step one, right? Is that we need to be aware again of when we're kind of too aroused, too excited, too hyped up. And this is how we can evaluate that. And interestingly, with mindfulness, we're not looking to calm down or relax. We're really just looking to notice. But often a byproduct of mindfulness is actually relaxing, is actually calming down. So this may be a strategy for when you feel sort of, again, to the right of that, top of that curve, how you can sort of back it up, right? Kind of reverse it so that you're really feeling in that optimal zone, not too anxious, not too revved up. This in and of itself may be helpful, just taking a moment or two of really noticing our thoughts, our breath, our emotions, putting label to it. There are times when we may need to kind of add something else, like smiling, like imagery, like we talked about last week. But for now, I'm wondering if this would be helpful for this week of just, taking 1 or 2 minutes out a couple times a day and just practice, God bless you, practice this exercise. And again, I'll send you information for the Stop Breathe Think app, which can help too.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
Okay, wonderful. We're looking to kind of wrap up. Any questions about any of this, Charles?
Yeah, you mentioned kind of the short-term anxiety versus the
Yes.
longer
Yes.
term. How should I start to notice that?
Oh, wonderful question. Wonderful question. So, what I'd like you to do, Charles, if you feel that across many situations, school, relationships, work, sleep, going out with friends, if you kind of constantly feel this anxiety and that it's always there and it's sort of interfering, I want us to talk about it a bit differently. If you're saying, hey, Dana, I'm trying things, I'm trying to kind of make it go away, I'm doing self-talk and it just stays there, I can't quite manage it, that is going to be something that I want us to discuss. If you're able to say, I felt anxious in a particular situation, but I did some skills, I worked on mindfulness, and it was able to sort of go away. It may come back, the next day, but it's not sort of stable.
Okay.
Okay, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we may just look at it a bit differently. All right, right now what we're doing is we're helping with the anxiety that's more situation specific versus constant and continuous.
Got it.
Okay? Thank you for
Yeah.
asking that. Great question.
Thank you.
All right, Charles, so I look forward to working with you next week, and please let me know if you have any questions. And again, I'll send you information on that app.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I will look forward to it.
Thanks, Charles.
Bye.
Bye.